Val Kilmer, Batman Forever, Tombstone, The Doors, Willow, dead at 65. Now, he had been suffering from throat cancer, I believe, for a while. And there's a really, I think it's on Amazon. If you have Amazon, I know, but there's a documentary about Val Kilmer that's actually pretty impactful, talking about his rise and what happened to him, and how he was pretty much sidelined with his throat cancer. So Val Kilmer, who played Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, channeled Jim Morrison and Oliver Stone's The Doors, and starred in the tubercular Doc Holliday in Tombstone, died Tuesday in Los Angeles. His daughter Mercedes told the New York Times the cause was pneumonia. He was 65. He had battling throat cancer for several years. The babyface blonde actor had a solid run as a leading man. Oh, I forgot Heat. Get out of here with this crap. Can I get rid of this? No. You have Heat as well. Very few actors have the generational run that he did, right? A lot of actors have one, maybe two good roles. There's at least four roles that you could go off of. Obviously, Iceman in Top Gun. Obviously, when he was in Heat. Obviously, Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Obviously, Real Genius was another one. Spy Movie, I believe, was the other one he was in. Mad Madigan, in Willow. I actually remember that because that was like one of those action figures I had when I was younger. And I dig Willow. I think Willow is a pretty good movie. As a short guy, it gives me hope as a hero. But you're right. That scene has been going around on social media, that last scene between him and Tom Cruise, and just the gravitas that is there, because that's his last major film role. Mad Mortigan. Yes, sorry, Mad Mortigan. Loved Mad Mortigan, even though he was essentially a Han Solo ripoff, because Willow was made by George Lucas after he couldn't get the rights to Lord of the Rings. He's like, I'll just make my own. And it did well. It just didn't sell the toys necessary, because that's all Lucas cares about is the merchandise. But I actually had some of them. But I really enjoyed Willow. But the generational run that the guy had was impressive, because he got at least four roles that he'll always be known for. And in the documentary, it's kind of sad because he went to Tombstone a couple years back, and he was watching the movie, and he was happy to be there and all this stuff. But then in the background, while everybody else was watching the movie, he's just like, oh, now, he's like, I feel old because all I'm doing is living in the past. And it's sad for actors when they have to deal with that kind of stuff. But in the end, you have to understand. Also, I think he got robbed in the Batman franchise. I really thought he was a halfway decent Batman. Those Batman movies by Joel Schumacher were not good anyway. So, I mean, George Clooney was terrible, but in that movie was terrible anyway. But the fact that he brought a lot more gravitas to it. Of course, if you ever asked him about that Batman film, he's like, it's a Batman film, but I'm not in it. I mean, everybody else has stuff, and I just kind of stand there. So that's why he really didn't like it. Yeah. So, there are a lot of things that are not great about getting old. I can tell you, my body is definitely hurting. But there is grace in getting old as well. Yeah, he got robbed twice. He got robbed twice. Once for Doc. He should have gotten it for Doc. The only reason this is going to be a really it's going to be a controversial take, but I don't really care. If he's not in that, Tombstone isn't a good film. Yes, Kurt Russell is really good as Wyatt Earp, but it's an average movie without him, because he steals every scene that he's in. And also, the backstory behind that is the director essentially quit, and Kurt Russell had to direct that film. Essentially, the story is that he had to kind of direct the film, because the The director kind of just walked off, but he saves the film Tombstone. He does. And he should have gotten an Oscar, at least a nomination for Doc. Um, and then The Doors. I mean, I've never sat through the entire Doors film because I don't need a 3-hour movie about Jim Morrison. But the work and the preparation, the way he embodied him, yeah, he got robbed on that one as well. My favorite line in the entire Tombstone movie is not, I mean, like say when and all that stuff. Those are all great lines. My favorite line is after the fight, the gunfight at the river. And somebody asks, like, oh, Doc's like coughing up blood. He's like, whoa. And people, one guy goes, Doc, what are you doing here, man? You're sick. You shouldn't be here. And Doc says, well, Wyatt Earp is my friend. And the guy goes, well, I got lots of friends. And Doc goes, well, I don't. And the way he says that line is just, it's about right there, as Lou says, about the loyalty and essentially that male platonic love that has been destroyed by the left, because you can't have that type of male love and loyalty anymore without being gay, because apparently that's the only way you can have that. But that relationship between the two, so 100% on that. But having those two roles be robbed of, really bad. Also, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, never seen it because it's a little too spicy for my taste. But the fact is that it's a really good film. And Val Kilmer never got a lot of credit for his comedic timing and the way he was, because he was very he had a great range. I actually don't mind the Saint movie. A lot of people don't like it. It's entertaining, especially compared to the crap that's put out today. It makes the film at least enjoyable to watch. Yeah, the plot's far-fetched, and it's not really yeah, Charlton Heston shows up at the end. They're gonna have to get through us. It's like, oh yeah, Charlton Heston, nice. Yeah, Tombstone's a classic Western. It's that and Unforgiven are like the last great American Westerns. There hasn't really been one. I mean, I enjoyed the Magnificent Seven reboot because I like Westerns, and the Magnificent Seven, the first one, is one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. I used to play it as my end music on the radio station. Plus, that score is amazing. That and Stagecoach. Stagecoach is probably one of the. It was the forefront of the Western film, but it's back to Steph's point about aging sucks. It also, for people in our generation, it starts to really kind of like hit home, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy's dead too. I'll see that. Like, I'll turn on a song by an artist. I'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's dead. He's gone. That guy's gone. Oh, that actor. Yeah, that actor's dead now. He's not here anymore. And it's some, memento mori as far as Catholics are concerned. It's just really a reminder of it. But if you are watching in the replay, let me know your favorite Val Kilmer performance in the comment section down below. And there's no wrong answer, really, whether it's Tombstone, whether it's Heat, whether it's Willow, whether it's Real Genius, any of those films, you could absolutely say are deserved of being there. That's the documentary Val. If you have Amazon or if it's on another platform, I highly recommend watching the documentary Val. The Sun provides the actor's voice, and the films utilize hundreds of hours of video he recorded. It's really an interesting look at what he was doing after his throat cancer and how he was trying to get around. And Ghost in the Darkness. Anybody ever see that one? Him and what's the guy? Michael something. He's super old now. He's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. Somebody will know who he is. Can't believe I forgot who he was. But that movie was completely ruined by that guy. That guy came in and completely destroyed that film. But that movie is underrated as well. He's really good in that film. So it's, time comes for us all. and it's unfortunate, but it doesn't shock me considering his body was just wrecked after. Let's see, Ghost in the Darkness and the forgettable remake of The Saint. It's not a bad film to watch. Also, The Prince of Egypt was a film that he was in that a lot of people, I've never seen that, but a lot of people like that as well. Michael Douglas, that's the guy. Michael Douglas, he pretty much ruined A Ghost in the Darkness because the role that he plays was supposed to be much shorter, but Michael Douglas wanted it to be a bigger role and completely different than the character was supposed to be, and it just rewrote the film, and it's not as good as it could have been. So, Requiescem Pace to Val Kilmer, eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Fly high, Iceman.